Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back once again to the Crew First Culture podcast. Thank you for joining me today. This is Jeremy again. Hope you're having a great day and a great week. I like a lot of the times I've recorded here lately, just getting into work, get here a little bit early so I can spend some time writing and thinking and whatever else I feel like I need to get out. So I really enjoy that time, even though it it means that I got to get up at 3:30 in the morning, but I really do. I almost need that time. There's been quite a few weeks here lately where I wasn't really able to keep that schedule up, and I could definitely tell a difference in myself just as far as not having that outlet and kind of almost losing a little bit of the thought process rhythm that I have going. And so it's nice to get back into that. Last couple of days I was off, but I woke up earlier than I needed to, and not exactly 3:30, but uh, got a little bit of a chance to do the same thing at home. So nice to get back into a little bit of that and take advantage of that early morning time when I'm either on my way to work, or if I'm at home, just awake by myself. Nobody else is up yet, so just a little bit of a quiet time. And so I've come to see that that's a very important time for me. So glad to get back into that. So today I want to just address really quickly a kind of a thought that I put out on a post yesterday, and it's something I think that is an interesting thought, and hopefully something that will draw some feelings, some thoughts, some reflection out of you as well after you hear it. But I'm going to look it up just so I don't mess it up here. But the post, just the picture of it, says, "Are you willing to sacrifice who you want to be in order to become who you were made to be?" And so, honestly, it's something that I've had written in my phone for a little while. So I don't really know where uh, this thought kind of came from, how I pieced it together. I don't think it's a quote of anybody's that in particular. It's just something that I've been thinking through. But at the same time, I think it's a pretty important self-reflection point to really dig into. I had the opportunity to speak at our Oklahoma State Fire School last week, and that's the first time I've done that at in that venue, and it was pretty good experience. Got to see some old friends reconnect with and meet some new friends, and so it was a good time. The the lesson that I gave, the class I gave, whatever you want to call it, lecture, was it's called Firehouse Essentials, and kind of the tagline is from character to culture, and that's basically what it is. It's a class that I put together that covers everything from your character, leading yourself, all the way through, creating and maintaining firehouse culture. So there's a lot to it. It was a 4-hour class. So, there's a lot of time. I mean, you could break that apart into probably at least a dozen decent sized classes. But one of the pieces of that, and like I said, it starts out with leading yourself. Like, I feel like every leadership class or lecture needs to start. But this wasn't the first time I've given this class, and like every other class I've given multiple times, it was completely different, because I feel like every time I go back into a class that I've already given, I feel like I need to change some stuff because I've changed. And so one of the biggest things that I changed about the class over the last time I gave it was adding in a lot more into that leading yourself section. And the really the meat of that new material was just figuring out who you were, finding out your identity, finding out your purpose, truly understanding and reflecting on those things. Because, just like I like to say with culture, one of the biggest goals for me when establishing a culture is creating an identity. If you're looking to create a culture for a crew, then one of the most important early goals for you is to create an identity, get an identity within that crew so that you have something that unites you. So you have something that you can fight for. So you have something that defines you basically. And so to me, that it obviously is a pretty easy transition back over into the realm of leading yourself. How am I going to feel confident leading people if I don't even really know who I am? If I don't know what defines me, if I don't know what's important to me, what values I'm driven by, all these little things. And also, uh, what is my purpose? I know this is a question that you know you see in the movies all the time, the purpose of life, or all this deep stuff that they act like you're never going to figure out. And I think that's totally inaccurate. It's not going to be an easy question to answer. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of honest self-reflection, but it's there. It's not a question that God is trying to hide from you. It's a question he wants you to find. So it's not going to be something that you just aren't able to obtain. He just wants you to look for it. And so that's a big, big question I feel like we all need to really just focus on until we have a good answer, and know that answer doesn't have to always be the same. I almost hope it's a little different every time I look, because I'm evolving, I'm growing, I'm learning. And so the more I grow, the more I am stretched, I hope that my purpose is growing and is stretching. So it's not something that is a one and done process. It's not something that is a myth or a unicorn that doesn't exist. We can find our purpose. We can figure that out. We can get at least a good idea of why we are here. And so those things right there are so important to us as leaders, just in the beginning processes of learning to lead ourselves. And if we don't truly have those as a foundation, then it gets really muddy later on when we are leading others, because we don't have the foundation, the solid foundation of knowing who we are, having our identity there, and something that I know I am going to fight for, because this is who I am, this is who I want to be, and knowing my purpose, and knowing that this is why I am here. So I'm going to look for opportunities that are given to me to fulfill that purpose. And once you have those things in place, once you have at least a clearer picture of what your identity, what your purpose is, all of this other stuff just starts falling into place. The path starts showing itself more and more and more. The further you go, the further you stretch yourself, the more you grow, the more of that path becomes visible. You just got to keep your eyes open. You just got to take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you, because I talk about it a lot. I've talked about it here recently on the podcast. Those opportunities are always out there. We just have to watch for them. We just have to take advantage of them when they come. And so, going back to my original thought, first of all, if you don't know who you are, if you don't have a clear picture of your identity, if you don't know what your purpose is, if you don't have a clear picture of why you're here, then it's not going to be really easy to even answer that question that I asked. And to go back to it, are you willing to sacrifice who you want to be in order to become who you were made to be? So for me personally, almost everything I am doing right now, just in life, is a little bit of a departure from the person I used to consider myself to be. That means that I have stretched myself well beyond what I used to think I was able to. I have gone outside of what I had originally thought I wanted out of my life, to try to fully grab and try to fully follow the path that has been laid out for me. And I think we all kind of hit the fork in the road. Really, we all hit that fork pretty often. What are we going to do to guide us in these decisions, guide us in this path of which direction to go? I think that I'm trying to look up a quote. I'm sorry. So this morning, listening to a Maxwell podcast, he was discussing something, and just a little bit of what he said kind of struck something else in me that related to this, and I'm just going to kind of put it in my own words. But basically, we need to start viewing excuses like they are exit ramps that are leaving and leading away from our purpose. Because every time we make an excuse not to do something, every time we make an excuse not to take advantage of an opportunity that is right in front of us, every time we make an excuse not to step outside of our comfort zone to stretch ourselves, we are exiting off of that path towards our purpose. We are deliberately, basically what we're saying is, we're saying, I know more than the God that made this path for me, than the God that put me here with this purpose. I know better. So I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to go my way. But really, if we were honest, what we're truly saying is, I am scared to go that way. I do not want to put myself out there and do that. I am not comfortable doing that. I don't think I can succeed doing that. And so, absolutely lacking the faith to follow the path that is laid in front of us. So I just thought that was a pretty neat kind of way to think about it. The excuses we make are really exit ramps that are taking us away from the path of our purpose. It's a pretty neat thing to think about, as far as just a new thought for me. So hopefully that kind of ties in with everything for you. But another thing, and I'm trying to think of her name, I think it was Rachel Hollis. She did some bonus material at the end of the Leadership audio book of John Maxwell, and she's in one of the leadership podcasts of his as well. And something pretty powerful that she said this morning that I heard. She said that the things that you're most embarrassed and ashamed of are exactly what people need to hear from you. And so I hope I'm not jumping around and kind of making a mess of all this, but I feel like everything is tied in. When we avoid the things we're ashamed of because we want our own way, we want to be the person that we want to be, we want to follow the dream that we want, we're neglecting the impact that we could be having on others. We are neglecting the purpose that has put within us and given us the reason that we're here. We're neglecting that. Those are the things that people truly need to hear from us. But it's hard, right? It's a lot easier to just think of myself as, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. Because this sounds fun, this looks fun. I think that this will make the most money. Whatever our intentions and whatever drives us. And sometimes that's right on line. Sometimes we are on the right track. But a lot of the times, and I have felt this over and over again, so I am assuming all of us do. Sometimes I'm on a path that I may think is right, but inside everything is telling me it's wrong. Everything on the inside of me is pulling me in a different direction. And so that's where that question has to be asked. Am I willing to sacrifice what I want to do to truly follow what I know? And I know because I feel it. I feel that draw, that pull, or a push. Something is taking me in a different direction because I need to be going in a different direction. Am I going to fight that and do what I want to do? Or am I going to sacrifice that, my needs, my selfishness, in order to follow the path that leads to the purpose that I was made for and that I was placed here to fulfill? So that's just the thoughts of the day. I hope that kind of spurs a little bit of something in you. This is Saturday, the 13th of May, and which means tomorrow is Mother's Day. So anybody out there that is a mother or that has a mother, I hope that you enjoy the day with those that you love, and happy Mother's Day to those mothers. I have a brand new grandson, like I said, so we have a brand new mother in our family, and so that'll be kind of fun to celebrate and to enjoy. So happy Mother's Day, everybody. I'm so appreciative of everything you do and support the podcast and the social media for Crew First Culture. If you enjoy the episodes or get anything out of it, please share it, please like it, please comment and post a review. Like I've said before, if you take the time to post a review, I'm more than happy to show my thanks for that by sending you some stickers. Just let me know that you did. I am so just humbled and thankful that I have the opportunity to share my voice and my message with you all. I hope that it inspires you to do the same. So whatever you have inside, whatever that purpose that you have been placed here to fulfill, take some time to think about it. Take some time, truly look and dig deep within yourself and figure that out so that you can start having an impact and a significance in this world. Thank you for your time. Until next time, as always, stay humble and do work.